Star Ocean 2 review. It was a game of two halves. The cliché of post-sports interview brought to life in a JRPG. Star Ocean's foray onto the PlayStation is a strange and engrossing experience, a beautiful game with a start plot and combat that is satisfying, yet utterly obscure in terms of success or failure, and how it is determined. Yet despite every aspect feeling fundamentally flawed, I still struggle to put it down. Star Ocean Disc 1 is a tale of whichever protagonist you select at the beginning, milling around the world of Expel, fighting monsters and wondering what's actually going on. The events unfold, seemingly at random, with very little explanation given, as you perform actions as you're there anyway, so you might as well take part. Plot points are brought up and dropped or ignored in favour of a slightly ineptly handled romance. I'm certain that if you have a multi-volume guide to accessing the optional side story content, or the kind of time and patience only available to a child in the 90s with very few RPGs in their collection, many questions might have answers, and many plot lines might be satisfying. But as things are, it's simply a lot of nothing. A consistent factor in this cavalcade of filler is the budding romance between our protagonists. Claude, having been transported to Expel from elsewhere, has followed isekai tradition to the letter and fallen in love with the first person he sees, which appears to be reciprocal, despite the consistent pussyfooting. This banal courtship is the primary focus of the first disc, as brief adventures act as set dressing to these characters, trying their hardest not to be honest with each other and get on with working out if their respective parts are compatible. The disc climaxes in an enormous handbrake turn, as forces heretofore not even hinted at turn out to be the man behind the curtain, and the second half truly starts. Disc 2 disregards the interpersonal meanderings for a more straightforward RPG affair. There's an ancient power in a sci-fi setting, and you are the ones to sort it after you conquer themed dungeons with actual gimmicks. It's a fun, if oddly old-fashioned turn for the game to take, almost as if there were two games planned that were mashed together. Although I have been reliably informed, that's just a Star Ocean thing. It's genuinely odd to me. It's reminiscent of how often manga or anime plots can end up with strange plot structures when looked at as a whole. But in those cases, it's a product of long-term creation processes that are things made piece by piece. I'm genuinely interested in how this came about and how intentional it was. When we are left with is a tale akin to Wesley Crusher bumbling along with a pretty female Wesley Crusher until the universe is on the line and they both suddenly turn into John Wick. The visuals are by far the game's strongest asset. The game's environments and details therein tell a story and assist world building in a stronger way than the text itself can manage. The pre-rendered backgrounds have minute and subtle details. Additional sprites and animations around locations leave the impression that these are real places where people live their lives. Combat is action-based in a way that's pretty much identical to three-dimensional Tales of games. Select a melee-based protagonist, hit your special moves, and hope for the best. To be fair, there are enemies that require caution and even strategy, but there simply aren't the kind of skill challenges, such as the combos, that are possible in the likes of the Tales games. I genuinely found it fun, exciting, and satisfying, with a nice snappy game feel and responsiveness. It's somewhat shallow, coming close to greater complexity towards the latter portions, even leading to some pretty wild strategies for late game bosses. Nevertheless, it is a lot of fun. Outside the combat, the game has a dizzying abundance of systems, a litany of skills for in and out of battle with a focus on somewhat frustrating craft systems that will find you desperately praying to RNGesus that you will get the amazing item you're hoping for, and not the useless broken items that seem to be the majority of results, even at maximum levels and appropriate talents. Much of this, however, isn't completely necessary, as many items appear in abundance at different points. The primary advantage of the skills end up being the passive improvements to stats that knowledge, such as how to use a kitchen knife, may grant. I've been informed that the crafting systems are very much improved in the remake, also that skills are available from the start instead of being acquired piecemeal from different locations. So take from that what you will. Altogether, it was a strong showing. It was difficult to put down. By no means is it affecting as some of my more recent finished games, nor is it a new favourite, but it will definitely worth my time, and probably yours. Your mileage may vary when the first half is playing, as you will collect party members while the protagonists are shy about their feelings with each other. If you have the patience for the early sections, or for the massive difficulty spikes at the end, it's a rewarding experience. So, story is... I don't know, because the story doesn't come in a reasonable fashion. I'm going to give it a 7 in this case. Combat, I'm going to give an 8.5. Can we give 0.5s? We're going to say I'm going to give 0.5s. Non-combat is... well... If I'd have done the private actions, it would probably be higher, but I didn't do the private actions because they're a faff to find, so you're getting a 6. Graphics are a 10. This is actually probably one of the best looking PlayStation 1 RPGs, just for how they've chose to do it. They made very sensible decisions with how they did the graphics. The music is a 7. It's perfectly serviceable. Nothing has stuck in my head. It's difficult when you're in a genre which is genuinely, like, if you're in a genre with Uematsu or Koshiro or the like, you have to be absolutely stellar to stand out. The overall feel, I'd say, is a good 9. I didn't want to put this game down a lot of the time. There were points where it really frustrated me, and I wanted to play anything else, and due to technical issues, I actually just couldn't play anything else on what I played it on. But on the whole, I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to just keep playing it. I didn't want to get on with my day-to-day stuff. I just wanted to play it. So, yeah, overall feel is a 10. Like, the pieces, it's greater than the sum of its parts, and I don't know how well other people would enjoy it, but I very much did.